David Gordon Green brings us the newest installment into the Exorcist franchise. I'm not sure entirely whether this is a full-on requel or just a sequel on its own. I do know this, however, it is an absolute piece of shit. Yeah, his first Halloween movie was pretty good, I at least thought so anyway, but my god, this guy needs to go back to making movies like Pineapple Express. This film is, without a doubt, one of the most extremely poorly made films of this year that I've seen. It's been a minute since I had seen the original Exorcist, but I'm very sure it didn't include a consistent barrage of panning shots, which are plastered all over this movie, and half the time when they're done, they are so poorly shot. Which won't come as a surprise, as when I tell you the DP on this film doesn't have any particularly groundbreaking cinematography under their belt. The sound design is awful here. Not only does it have the horror offender of cranking up the volume whenever there's a shitty awful jump scare, but sometimes characters will talk to each other and the dialogue will overlap and you can't hear shit. There's a part where the two girls in this film are whispering, and yeah, that's supposed to be quiet or whatever, but I swear to Christ, you genuinely can't hear a single fucking thing. And I have no clue if that's supposed to be the intention of the scene, or if it's poorly done, or if the speakers in my theater were just not great. The characters here are extremely hollow. We barely know anything about the two families, so it gives us no reason to care about either of their stories. We spend the first maybe 20 minutes of the movie focusing on Leslie Odom Jr.'s character and his daughter, while when I feel like if the first act had have shown both home lives, we could have sympathized more, but no, this movie doesn't give a shit about its characters. And so why should you? You've seen The Exorcist, you know it's known for its iconic, grisly, and haunting sequences and imagery. Well, this movie has none of it, opting to go the traditional reboot route of poorly imitating the original's iconic scenes and of course doing them terribly. Nothing sticks out here. There's nothing shocking here, like don't expect to see anyone getting fucked by a crucifix in this one. Something that really made my blood boil was that this movie does the horror movie requel trend of bringing back old characters into this movie to help the current ones, and I'm telling you now, with light spoilers, Ellen Burstyn has absolutely no point of being here. She has use for one scene and then we barely see her for the rest of the movie. And then on top of that, spoilers again, they have the audacity to bring Linda Blair into it, which serves as nothing but a dumbass pointing Sojak cameo. There was a really poor attempt as well at recapturing the magic of that original movie score. They try a new interpretation of it, and quite frankly, if they had to just use the original score, it would have worked just as well. If not, maybe even better, because it doesn't suit the scenes it's in at all. Do I need to express that this shit isn't scary at all? How do you take what is regarded as one of the most scariest horror films of all time with a follow-up that is so fundamentally the opposite that it hurts? Some people may argue that it's not exactly fair to compare this to the original, but when it's literally a requel to the original film, there's not much I can do. I find it laughable that Universal is stuck in this contractually obligated 3-picture deal to stretch this shit out to a trilogy. Thankfully, this dumpster fire doesn't end up on a dumbass cliffhanger, so if it loses a fuck ton of money, they can just cancel it like they did with their infamous and ever ambitious Dark Universe. I'm giving The Exorcist Believer, stupid title by the way, half a star. A painfully boring, irritating, laughably dumb excuse of a possible requel that takes a massive shit all over its predecessor. This is not worth your time in the slightest, and it's going to be forgotten quicker than people realized it was even being released.